Sup, you chuckle fucks, it's your boy, Dark Raku here with What If Zenkichi Had Toon Force? Yes, there's going to just be a fucking gag of a what if. Literally. But not the point. I should have probably watched a lot of Looney Tunes. I haven't watched what to call Looney Tunes in like such a long time. So of course, you want later after I go to school and there's not much work I have to do in school, I'm gonna just straight up start watching Looney Tune fucking cartoons in school. I won't care that much. I should have done it this morning, but I was too lazy. And I should also mention that I have like 3 hours of sleep, so yeah, you get the point. So, I'm a if I fuck up this what if, I might just go back and redo it later when I actually also read Mataka box manga, because I have no clue what the fuck happens. I'm only in the anime, so yeah, I'm just a retarded idiot that doesn't do shit that much. But not the point. Let me begin to this what if before I have to go, and yeah, I know I don't have that much minutes. I only have like 20 or something, 20-ish. But not the point. Let me begin, and yeah. Now we go into Zenkichi. Ever since Zenkichi was mostly a child, he was kind of, how should I say, not abnormal. Well, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was. Who knows? But for some reason, every time he smiles, the world becomes brighter. But that's not the case right now. Right now, the case is that he is fighting against Mataka. Well, yeah, Mataka. Well, yeah. What was her name again? He is fighting against Mataka Kurokami. Of course, Zenkichi, Hideyoshi versus, well, Mataka Kurokami. Now, of course, it's a battle between an abnormal who's always perfect most of the damn time that will love to actually help humans who are not abnormal, and those who are abnormal to help them anyway. Of course, this is where, well, she believes that she was supposed to be God's given right to kind of help everyone, but yeah. Of course, this is where she's right now not in her best mind because she got brainwashed a while ago. But of course, she is right now fighting against Zenkichi. Zenkichi is trying to help Mataka to remember him, everyone, basically just remember every single person. Of course, this is where, well, Zenkichi is having to like kick her and of course try to like push her to the breaking point to actually remember everyone. But of course, it's not happening. Then there's that blonde dude and that other kind of kid. I forgot their names. God damn it. But not the point. I'll remember later. But, sorry. But of course, where, well, Madoka and her feet kind of had these syringes to throw at, was it called Zenkichi? Zenkichi managed to block them. Now, of course, some of them managed to kind of pierce him in the, what's it called, arms. And of course, one of them actually managed to kind of scrape his kind of near almost his eye, like near his eye, like mostly near the eye. He managed to just scrape there. This is where, well, Zenkichi won his eyes. He actually, if he wouldn't block that and he wouldn't move fast enough, he would actually get his like eye pierced. But mostly, well, Madoka then tries to attack him very powerful, sending a powerful kick to the stomach, breaking some ribs and launching him into a pillar. And of course, making that pillar fall down, and Zenkichi mostly ruins, like, fall down on him. This is where Morgie and even what's it called, that one blondish dude, screams out and says, Zenkichi! This is where they say Zenkichi-kun. Now, of course, this is where, well, Mogoro, who is actually Madoka's older brother, kind of says, Zenkichi! This is where, well, everyone widened their eyes. They weren't expecting, well, Zenkichi to kind of be okay after that. And if he actually is alive, then yeah. This is where the blonde dude named, what's it called? So, his name is Udo. I think that's his first name, or I can't frickin' tell. But Udo kind of says, it seems that he failed to even bring back Madoka. Well, that's not the point. Now, Madoka, finish him off. This is where, well, everyone was about to, like, get ready to fight against Madoka until we go into Zenkichi. Zenkichi's trying to get up, but he can't. He's not strong enough. He won't be able to defeat her. No, he's not strong enough. He's kind of slowly, like, passing out. Thanks to the bloodlust, thanks to the syringes. Well, because the syringes actually had some kind of vial to actually make him go to sleep. And of course, this is where, well, he's actually falling asleep. This is where, well, something actually appeared. An illusion actually appeared right in front of him. Mostly, it seems like a memory. This is where, well, Zenkichi, before he even, well, we go into mostly Zenkichi before he even met Mitaka when he was a child. We go into a flashback of mostly Zenkichi, and mostly an older looking man that is right now kind of clouded, and of course like disfigured. You can barely see his face at all. This is where, well, but you can see a smile, like a bright white smile on his face. Of course, he seems to be wearing like these black clothes and other things. This is where, well, he was smiling at a younger, kind of like somewhat smaller Zenkichi. Zenkichi with blondish hair. This is where Zenkichi was confused at the time when he was a child. But this is where, well, the older man speaks and saying, Zenkichi-kun, sorry that I'll have to leave. Tell your mother I'm so sorry for her. Besides, I'm not like how should I say, abnormal like her most of the time. Besides, I want to tell you right now, please don't cry. Smile. Smile to show the world that your brightness. You are a bright child. You can do anything. Anything you want to. You are a child of imagination. You should not be limited to the facts of reality. So, remember to always smile. Even if situations are bad, you can always smile and do the things that you want to, because reality can always bend to your will if you think it's funny. This is where he smiles at Zenkichi, and Zenkichi just smiles at him. Of course, his smile brightens up the older looking man, and of course the light kind of flashes, but of course this is where, well, it didn't even like manage to kind of remove the figure's kind of like cloud or whatever, the darkness cloud that was over his face. But this is where, well, mostly Zenkichi as a child says, okay, Dad, I'll definitely do it. I will show everyone that I am the best person to ever show that like, I'm a comedian like you. I want to be a comedian just like you. I want to make everyone smile in brightness. This is where, well, the other man says, then go ahead. Show them who you are, Zenkichi-kun. We go back into Zenkichi-kun. Right now, something actually appearing on top of his head. Rabbit ears started appearing. This is where, well, a kind of rabbit tail also appears behind him, but that's not the point. Mostly the rabbit ears are kind of like grayish a little bit. His hair started kind of glowing a little bit much brighter yellow. And this is where, well, he kind of starts kind of getting off the rubble. The rubble started kind of bursting with light, which everyone got confused in an instant because that's where Zenkichi was at. And of course, this is where, well, all they hear is when the rubble starts kind of getting up is, all that they hear is this. Ignore the song, Okay, so yeah, they hear basically the laugh, and this is where, well, they're confused until the rubble exploded with a bunch of light. This is where all the rubble just turns into basically just flowers in an instant. And this is where, well, all they see is a, what's it called, somewhat rabbit, mostly rabbit. Let me say that again. They see like a rabbit fusion, mostly hybrid version of Zenkichi. But Zenkichi's hair is yellow, and this is where, well, Zenkichi's hair is kind of going up like if it's literally fire. This is where, well, Zenkichi is laughing. Zenkichi is right now kind of just laughing like if he was a maniac. But this is where, well, the laughter isn't like sinister or anything. It's joyful. And this is where everyone gets their nerves for some reason calmed down. But this is where, well, mostly Mataka is confused, and even what's it called, Uro is even confused. This is where he looks at mostly the white-haired boy, and of course the white-haired boy tries to like get into Zenkichi's mind, but this is where he just snaps out, and this is where he's actually confused. This is where he grabs his face and mostly his head, because all he heard is just laughter in mostly Zenkichi's mind. This is where, well, mostly Mataka's like older kind of sister is also there, and this is where, well, she's confused seeing this. This is where, well, Zenkichi's wounds that were the stab wounds from the syringe just literally bounces off of him. This is where they just kind of turn into literally water. This is where, well, Zenkichi is laughing. This is where, well, he then just smiles, and this is where, well, the whole room just gets blinded by the light. This is where, well, Zenkichi says this is going to be fun. Besides, everything is fun, right? It's always a good time to just start laughing, even if bad situations happen. No, there's no need to be so down and depressed and despair. There's always a way for everything to be good again. This is where, well, he's talking, but his voice is kind of distorted, making everyone kind of freak out, thinking this is not Zenkichi at the same time. This is where, well, mostly we go into a camera, kind of two people watching this. This is where, well, it's kind of the principal and the principal's granddaughter. This is where the granddaughter says, "Is that Zenkichi-kun?" This is where, well, mostly the principal, somewhat, or mostly chairman, says, "This is quite odd. I have never heard of mostly Zenkichi-kun, even if he wasn't abnormal. Why didn't he say anything?" But then again, it's mostly said in his, well, mostly, what's it called? In his, well, not scientists, mostly in his papers, that he was just a normal child. There was nothing about him being an abnormal. Even if scientists manage to figure this out, this is confusing. This is where, well, he also sees the room getting brighter, even in the camera. In his own room, literally, it becomes brighter, which it hurts, well, both of them in an instant, but it's confusing. But the whole world started kind of just becoming shinier. This is where, well, it's like Zenkichi was hiding this power away from the world just because he was scared. This is where Zenkichi is no longer scared of his own powers. This is where, well, Zenkichi says, "But that's not the point. Well, let's have some fun." This is where, well, Zenkichi just stomps on the ground once, and this is where the ground just bounces up, right now launching Mataka, Uryu, that one white-haired dude, up, and this is where they're confused in an instant, like the ground just became bouncer, or what the hell? This is where, well, mostly, Uryu, or whatever his name again, was kind of saying, "Bow down to me, bow down to your king!" This is where, well, Zenkichi says, "What is the king to a god? Actually, what is the king to a rabbit, you could say." This is where, well, mostly, Uryu says, "I said bow." This is where, well, this is where Zenkichi appears saying, "I don't like being bowed down. How about you bow down instead to me?" This is where, well, the person smashes his head to the ground, but it was bouncing up, so of course, every time he tries to smash his head to the ground, it just bounces up, up, and down. This is where, well, Zenkichi was laughing at the sight of what he was seeing, until mostly the white-haired guy, mostly the kid, tries to jump and grab Zenkichi, and Zenkichi says, "Huh? Wait, what are you doing?" This is where the kid was grabbing onto him. And of course, this is where, well, Zenkichi says, "Aw, are you hugging me? I don't really like hugs. I'd rather give hugs to make the world brighter." "So, can you please let go of me?" The kid tries to not let go, but for some reason he's letting go. This is where, well, Zenkichi then just kind of like pokes his head, and of course this is where the kid was just like turned into a ball in an instant. And this is where Zenkichi says, "Ooh, let's play some basketball, Mataka." This is where Mataka is confused until Mataka almost got hit by the kid, and of course this is where Mataka has to dodge. This is where Mataka tries to attack Zenkichi, and Zenkichi says, I don't really like it in attack, so let me just..." This is where Zenkichi snaps his fingers, and of course this is where like colors appear, and of course a paintbrush appears, and this is where he just like draws something in thin air, like a, what's it called, a brick wall, and of course he also draws like, well, a kind of doorway. So of course he goes into the doorway with Mataka trying to follow, but this is where she smashes through the brick wall. She's right now even more confused, going, "Wait, what?" This is where, well, Zenkichi appears a hole mostly above, well, Mataka. Mataka says, "What the?" This is where Mataka has to dodge, and Zenkichi appears right in front of her. "Hello." This is where Zenkichi said. This is where, well, Mataka jumps away and says, This is where she's confused. This is where Zenkichi says, let's see. I want to know if I can make your memories come back to life. How would that work? So what would a Mataka thing do? Or what would Mataka-chan usually do to make people remember? This is where, well, Zenkichi seems to be acting kind of childish. This is where, well, it's like this is not even Zenkichi entirely. But this is mostly Zenkichi's true personality. This is where mostly Zenkichi says, let's see. I know what to do. This is where, well, Zenkichi right now turns everything black, and this is where Mataka was confused in an instant. This is where, well, she then gets memories, a bunch of memories about them laughing, middle school them, well, mostly high school them, middle school them, and then back to childhood, mostly him and, well, mostly Mataka and Zenkichi. Zenkichi, when he was a child, he smiled kind of brightly, which kind of also was confusing Mataka, because she thought that mostly Zenkichi was a human when they met at the hospital, but that was incorrect. Zenkichi is not a human, and he could be counted as not as a normal. Just someone strange, someone that was born to make everyone happy. But that's not the case here or there. This is where, well, mostly Mataka remembers this, and this is where she breaks out of the spell. Mostly, not spell, mostly the mind control, like the memory what's it called, washed away. And of course, well, they appeared when mostly Zenkichi kind of came back to normal because he colored everything back to normal. And this is where, well, Zenkichi says, "Oh, Mataka, you're back." This is where, well, Zenkichi hugs her. This is where, well, Mataka's confused, but this is where, for some reason, she feels kind of warm. But this is where, well, Uri, mostly the yellow hair guy, King, whatever, says, "How? How? No, that's impossible. We brainwash her. You can't do this." This is where Zenkichi says, "Huh? What do you mean you can't do this? What, you can't, like, bring people's memories back? That's quite interesting. I thought it would be able to be possible. But I guess you can always bone in hell, can't you?" This is where, well, mostly, the blonde hair dude say, "What are you talking?" This is where bones appear underneath him. This is where, well, bones stab into his arms, and this is where he's confused. "What the? How are you able to do this?" This is where, well, Zenkichi says, "How can I do this? I have no clue. I really don't know, but I don't care. Because, well, everyone should have, well, freedom. It's kind of like the way of life for everyone, isn't it? Or am I just thinking out of the box? Or am I in the box? I don't know. Am I in the box, out of the box, or..." This is where everyone's just getting a headache now from mostly Zenkichi kind of rambling on. This is where, well, Zenkichi says, "Oh, whatever. I'm not that smart. I really don't like kind of going on with logic, because logic kind of hurts my head. So, of course, I'd rather go on with my logic. In my logic, everything turns into flowers." This is where, well, everything around them literally turns into flowers. Like the ground just becomes flowers. This is where everyone's confused, and the ground literally just falls down because it's just flowers. There's no solid ground. Everyone starts screaming, even Mataka, but this is where Zenkichi just grabs her. This is where, well, they are confused, and they fall down to the ground. This is where, well, Zenkichi says, "Turn into water." This is where he just says, "Turn into water," or mostly he thinks of what should be funny, and this is where it just turns into not water but literally paint. Everyone splats into paint. This is where, well, they're at the lowest level, and that's basically all those circuits or whatever bullshit. But yeah, this is where Zenkichi is laughing, saying, "This is interesting. Look, so many circuits. I wonder what will happen if I transform him into something else." This is where, well, mostly the blonde hair says, "No, don't you dare do anything to them." This is where, well, Zenkichi says, "Why not? I like to do stuff to them. Maybe I can put flowers over them." This is where Zenkichi puts flowers literally over them in an instant. This is where, well, the king says, "What? What is happening? Who are you exactly? This is confusing as hell." This is where, well, most of Zenkichi says, "Who am I? I don't know. I could be a god for all I know. Or it could be just someone who just likes messing with people. I don't know. All I know is I was born to, I guess, make people smile. Not from the fact, from hard working and giving them blah blah blah, but just from the fact that I can make jokes and other things. I don't know that much. I can't really remember at all. But other than that, I would like you to wear a pink dress." This is where, well, the king really just, like, his clothes change. He looks down, and then he just takes a double take of, like, just what the fuck? This is where he says, "Hey, give me back my clothes." This is where he screams at Zenkichi. And Zenkichi says, "No, I don't want it. Maybe you should have a cat ears, cat tail, and there, now you look so pretty." This is where, well, mostly the guy screams at Zenkichi saying, "Hey, give me..." This is where, well, Zenkichi says, "Pink hair now." This is where, well, mostly he just snaps his fingers, and this is where the guy's hair becomes pink. And this is where he says, "How the fuck are you doing this? No, people should be able to listen to me. Why aren't you listening to me?" Zenkichi says, "It could be the earplugs that I had in my ear. Who knows?" This is where, well, mostly the guy said, He's just so damn confused. Mostly, like, is Zenkichi's, like, whole structure of body is different, or what the hell? This is where Zenkichi says, "Or maybe it's because I'm plastic." This is where he literally turns into plastic, and then he then says, "Or maybe because I'm rubber." This is where he jumps up and down, stretching up and down. This is where he flexes his arms, and this is where mostly the guys say, "What? What the?" This is where, well, mostly Mataka's older sister says, "What the hell?" Morgoro says, "This is strange. It's like if he can just change the properties of what he wants, but it has to be funny. What is happening?" This is where Mataka questions Zenkichi about it. Zenkichi says, "I don't really know. My parents did mention something about this when I was born, but they said it'd be better if I keep it a secret." So I did. I mostly just decided to hide my emotions and never smile, because if smiling would activate my abilities. This is where, well, Mataka was kind of shocked and surprised. Everyone was dumbfounded in an instant after hearing that. This is where, well, that's why they always see Zenkichi kind of grumpy, and mostly never kind of being like very kind of smiling most of the time when he's near Mataka. He smiles, but not that much. So yeah, this is where, well, Zenkichi says, but other than that, I think that should be wrapping it off for today, shouldn't it be, audience? This is where he looks into the screen. This is where everyone's confused and saying, what is happening? Zenkichi says, well, everyone should probably be leaving here. I should also be going. Besides, pretty much the creator who is actually writing this, or just should I say, saying this, is kind of lost into where to go next. So we will be leaving this off. This is where, well, before leaving, he then jumps into another dimension and sees, well, what's it called, Kumagawa and that one girl with brownish hair. This is where they're confused, and this is where Zenkichi said, oops, wrong room. I was looking for the bathroom before leaving. Damn, I need to still find the bathroom. This is where he draws like something in front of him and just goes into the hole, and of course he's just gone. This is where, well, both Kumagawa and even what's it called, the other girl kind of goes confused and say, wait, was that Zenkichi? Both of them are confused now because they see Zenkichi appear with his hair kind of going up like if it's blondish, of course having rabbit ears, and kind of having a carrot. Also, I don't know why I kind of sound like what's it called, the red what's it called, Woody Woodpecker. I have no clue. But other than that, I'll be leaving it off here because I need to go do stuff. And other than that, bye. And I did mention how to do it for 20 minutes, but bye.